What's going on, friends? The first generation of Twin Cam 88's got a very bad reputation, and well, rightfully so with the things that happen. But if you're digging a little bit deeper into that first generation of Twin Cam 88 Harleys, if you know what you're looking at and you know what's inside those motors, it's definitely an engine that you don't want to avoid. Every Harley-Davidson engine out there has always had its teething problems in the early year, and the Twin Cam 88 was no exception. But with the prices of today's newer Harley-Davidson motorcycles, it makes those Twin Cam 88s that much more attractive, especially if you know what needs to be done to them, and you can do all this at a fraction of the cost of some of the newer bikes, even used. And the best part about it is, you damn sure don't have to have a rocket science degree to keep the bike running. There's a multitude of reasons to buy a first-gen Twin Cam 88, even though everybody tells you that is the engine that you need to avoid at all costs. The whole point of getting a first-gen Twin Cam 88 is to really get that last era of what I would say is Harley-Davidson's exceptional build quality. Well, I know that's probably laughable, but they were, without a doubt, built better than a lot of the new engines today. But you've got to be ready to do what it takes to correct some of the little issues that were with these engines and maybe give a little power bump to kind of get you more on par with what's out there in the world today as far as Harley-Davidson goes in terms of power numbers. Now, it's not that's going to blow your skirt up, but it'll definitely keep you satisfied running down the road. Guys, please don't forget, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. Now, one of the first reasons for buying a first-gen Twin Cam 88 should be that it's still got the old-school tapered Timken bearing bottom end. Now, I know you could install that in a 96, a 103, or hell, even a Milwaukee 8. But that is some precision work, and that also requires you taking the whole engine down and splitting the cases. And probably, if you're not a machinist, I would find somebody who is to have that done. Not only that, the Twin Cam 88 in the first generation, the cranks were hot forged. They were actually than what was going to come out in 2003 when they started slapping them together, pressing them, putting them in the engines and sending them down the line. Crank run out is an issue with just about any Harley-Davidson engine out there, especially with the pressed cranks from 2003 on. So the 99 and 2002 models with the hot forged crank, Timken bearing setup, is it an issue? Not so much. Not saying there are not bikes out there that have some miles on them with excessive run out, but it's generally not nearly as bad, or not even over 2000s, even as old as these motorcycles are today. Those cranks with those bottom ends, they held up pretty damn well. Now, if you've got the run out in check on these bikes, which I would hazard to guess more likely they're going to come in at 2000s or less, which is going to be well within spec, to go ahead and upgrade the cam chain system on those motorcycles. Now, you got two options, obviously. You go with the gear drive, which for me, that would be my preferred setup, especially with that bottom end that's in these motors, or you could go ahead and upgrade it to the hydraulic tensioner setup. There's nothing wrong with that. It does allow a little bit more play when it comes to the run out on the crank if you ever were to have a problem, but this also allows you to go with aftermarket cam plates, use high flow oil pumps, which will also help reduce your engine temperatures by pumping a larger volume of oil. And while you're in there, you might as well do the complete setup and go ahead and throw a set of nice cams in there, because you're probably going to want that for what comes next if you choose to keep going, which is what I would highly recommend when you've already got the bike down. Now, this is a great time to mention on a first generation twin cam, you definitely want to avoid the fuel injected models if you can, unless you're already willing to convert those over to a carburetor. But in all honesty, I would try to find a carbureted 99 to 2001 Twin Cam 88. It's going to save you a lot of headaches down the road, because the Magneti Marelli system on these, yes, it is the same one they used on the Evolution engine. They are a pain in the ass to tune. There are 0 parts available, and if it's working, in all honesty, leave it alone, unless you want to strip all that crap off and just go back to a single fire ignition and a carburetor. A great benefit of the first gen Twin Cam 88 is, yes, the carburetor, because this will absolutely simplify your tuning with cams and big bore kits. You're just basically doing jet changes and probably add an ignition module in there for good measure. That right there saves you at least $500, $600, $700, $800 on a flash tuner or a trip to the dyno tuner. I would still recommend taking it to a dyno tuner if one is available to you. But like with these, you can set your timing, you can set your jetting, you can set everything to the recommended specs for the camshaft, the displacement, whatever you decide to go with, and then you can run that son of a bitch down the road on the butt dyno, come back, listen to it, check the plugs, and change your jetting and carburetor settings as needed. But if you do have to have fuel injection, I would highly recommend looking for a 2002 model or newer. At least a 2002 model, because that's kind of the anomaly in this whole group, because it still had the Timken bearing bottom end, the good crank, and it had Delphi fuel injection. But you really just cannot beat that lope of a carbureted Harley-Davidson. Yes, even the twin cams, many of us have probably forgotten how good they used to sound when they actually had a carburetor on them. Twin cam 88s are not rocket ships by any length of the means, but you can install big bore cylinders and make it a 95-inch engine. Now, with the correct pistons in there, high compression, and a good set of cams, maybe a little bit of mild headwork to it, you can damn sure get 100 horsepower and 100 plus foot-pounds of torque out of it. Without even cracking the cases, if you've got a good smooth running crank, when you got everything apart, everything tore down, put a set of cams in it, new oil pump, new cam plate, freshen up that top end on it, and you literally have a good, clean running, reliable Harley-Davidson for not even a fraction of the purchase price of even some of the newer used motorcycles, let alone the new ones. I mean, think about it. We're not going to set any horsepower records or torque records with a Twin Cam 88 converted to a 95, but at the same time, you're not buried for multiple years of crushing interest payments on a brand new Harley-Davidson loan. You might call it a benefit, or you might be looking for that sixth gear with the transmission. Now, in all honesty, the 5-speed transmission is pretty proven in my book. The 6-speed transmission did have a lot of issues in the first couple of years when it became standard on the 96. The 2006 Dynas did have a 6-speed transmission on them with an 88. But there was a lot of issues with those in those first few years. But as far as the 5-speed, other than some little wonky things that Harley-Davidson always has, some false neutrals, maybe it's hard to find neutral on them, that's pretty much the extent of the major issues with the 5-speed transmission. Yes, it can still fail like anything else, but it's very reliable. And honestly, the false neutrals, that and finding neutral with it, a lot of that can be remedied by trying different fluids from different manufacturers to find one that works with your transmission. And yes, you do have to give those 5-speed transmissions some pretty positive input so you don't hit a false neutral going through the gears, as many of you are probably pretty well aware of, but it is not nearly as bad as those early first generation 6-speeds when they started coming out on that Dyna and on that 96. Yes, early twin cams did get a bad rap because of the disintegrating cam chain tensioners in there and blowing up engines. But knowing what you need to do to these motors to absolutely make them stone cold reliable, and at the same time, let's face it, any 88 that you're buying now has probably got a few miles on it, and it's probably time to be gone through anyhow, as you would more, in a perfect world, like to do with any used motorcycle. Yes, you're spending more money on it, but it's all for the greater good of the improvement for the motorcycle and for your own sanity, so you can sleep at night not knowing what's lurking in a first generation Twin Cam 88 that you just bought. There's no guessing this way. In a world where displacements have gone completely insane with Harley-Davidson, with the 131s, the 135s, everything's over 100 cubic inches these days, I feel like the first gen Twin Cam 88 is a perfect candidate for something that's worth buying and worth putting some money into, just for the fact that they still have that solid bottom end. I mean, this was really the last of the era of when Harley-Davidson actually built a good crank and actually put a solid bottom end in their motors before they started pressing everything, slapping it together, and sending it down the line. So guys, I need your opinions. Do you think that first gen Twin Cam 88 is worth the time, effort, and money into it to build it up and to make a nice Harley-Davidson? Do you think it would be worth making a 103 out of one of those bikes with the carburetor on it? Or do you think you'd just be better off going and buying a newer used one, or even a new bike, maybe even a Milwaukee 8? Do you think that's the better route, or do you think it's better to actually spend some time and money in an older Harley? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. But anyhow guys, that's all I've got for you this week. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please don't forget to hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. But till next week guys, Stay safe on the streets, ride smart, dodge those cars. I'll catch you guys back here next week with a brand new video. Thanks for watching.